I haven't done one of these videos in a while, but last night, which was May 22nd, above Bay City, Michigan, these were the pictures I took of the so-called stars of the moon, and different resolutions or different magnifications, I should say. My phone goes up to 30, so I usually take the pictures somewhere between like a 12 and a 30. Like this is a 12. But look at the quarter moon here. I mean, it looks like a pita pocket or something. I mean, it's like folded, and it's very bizarre looking. And you can take your own cell phone out and or camera and take your pictures. Now this one is that was magnified at about 12. This one's magnified all the way at 30. And you can excuse me, you can see the difference. But you won't see the entities at 30 because you need that pixelation to be able to see them. And I'm going to show you those here. It's the same moon, just not magnified as much. But you can see there's an eyeball, there's a face there in the in the background. There's more entities, and there's an obvious face, a bigger face there with his teeth. I mean, look at that. Those are lips and teeth. I mean, there's no getting around it. There's another entity there. Now, what are these entities? I mean, are they stuck in between dimensions, or why do they show up? And for those of you who say, "Oh, this is just a case of pareidolia," where you look into a carpet or the paint on a wall and your mind just, shows you what you think you're seeing, different images or whatever. But no, completely different here. There's too many people that I show these to that see the exact same thing as me. And if you don't see them, I don't know what to tell you. But the veil is getting thinner and thinner. And like I said, I haven't done one of these in at least a couple of months. But when I magnify the phone to around 12, I mean, there's a guy, obvious. I mean, you can see, here's a couple of younger, looks like kids there. And that's, the supposed moon. Now, see, there's a guy in the background there, a bigger guy, and it looks like he had his tongue sticking out, like this guy here. He's got his tongue sticking out. Now, I believe these are the guys that are feeding on the loosh, and that is what, that's what I believe they are. Just like Robert Monroe's book, Far Journeys, explains. And another face, obvious. Another face. I mean, you can see the eyes very clearly. Now, why isn't anybody talking about this? I don't understand. It's mind-blowing, if you ask me. But hey, let's see. Here's some images taken of so-called stars, and to me, that looks like some loosh possibly shot out of what looks to be like some sort of a pipe or something right behind it. There's the pipe, and then you'll see behind that so-called star, the light, you'll see some entities. Like I see their nose. You might have to pause it and expand the picture to be able to see what I'm talking about. There's a couple of entities. You can't really make them out, but okay. See, you can see these entities behind this so-called star, and they're breathing it in. They're eating the loosh. I mean, that's what's going on. Now, are they just not visible to, are they stuck? Now, here's another one. Look at, you can actually see a trail going up to his nose or his mouth where it's like he's sucking in the loosh, which is our, emotional energy that we put out. More faces. I mean, obvious faces. Anyway, there's a friend of mine, Kevin, who took some pictures above Fort Wayne, Indiana that I'm going to put on here at the end of this video. Just some still shots that um, you're going to see some images that are even clearer. There's another face. Another face. Another. I mean, they're everywhere. No one has an explanation for this. Another face. Another face. I mean, now again, I know the video is a little fast, so another face. You know, you may have to pause it. There's a face, obviously, and then maybe take a screenshot of one of the faces with your phone, and then go in your settings and click on enhance, which is, you see, that's what I've done here. Enhance. It allows you to scroll in even closer than you would if you just, if you didn't push enhance. So you're able to get, much closer. Like I said, you can do this with your own phone. Just go out at night. Some of these, I snapped them really fast, so there's like 6 pictures, but I'm just going to show you one. Obviously, they're all taken a second apart. But look at this. I mean, that looks like some sort of a goat face or something on the actual light. And then behind the light that's where this layers of smaller and larger entities appear. I would love to be able to, tell you exactly what they are, but if you read Robert Monroe's book, Far Journeys, he will explain to you in that book, when he does his astral travel, or out-of-body experience is what he calls them, he talks to an entity who explains to him that, yeah, this is, why Earth was basically made. The guy made his garden, and he grew loosh, and that's what we are. We provide food to these. I would like to think that there's more to our lives than that, and I'm sure there's more to the story. But somehow they've got us in this reincarnation cycle where because energy doesn't die, and we just keep coming back, doing and the more of us there are, obviously, the more loosh there is. I mean, in the 1900s, we didn't have, maybe a few 100 million people. And then all of a sudden, now we have 8 billion. I mean, if you go back to like 1000 AD and look at the population growth, you'll see where there was an explosion in the late 1800s, I think is when it started. And it seems like that was after the last reset, after the Tartaria mud floods and stuff. Now, what you're seeing here this is my neighbor's house. But on the house, you're able to, because there's a backdrop, you're able to see some of these pixelations or some of these entities. I mean, look at this star. I mean, it's like a bright yellow color. But anyway, it's like they're here with us. I mean, but we can't see them. But when you have a backdrop, like my neighbor's roof there, you're able to outline it better. There you go. Now that's an obvious face. Again, cannot be confused with pareidolia or another face. Like I said, take pictures with your own phone, and then scroll in so that you can get different, 12 times size, 15 times, 20 times, 30 times, and then you go back into your photos, and then you click on edit, and you click on enhance or dynamic or something where you're allowed to scroll in even more, and that's when you can like make out noses and eyes, and you can see it much clearer. And a lot of times too, there's words. Now, I haven't been able to make out the words, a few letters of each word here or there, but I'm hoping that there's going to be a message in there, at some point. Look at these big giant faces. There's another one. Looks like he's got a hat on. You can leave your hat on. Yeah, I'm not a singer. Another one, got his tongue sticking out, eating that loosh. Looks like a cop on a four-wheeler or something. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, if anybody has a better explanation or knows what this is, I would love to hear your comments, because nobody seems to know. Oh yeah, I promised you some great still shots from my buddy Kevin's pictures that he took about Fort Wayne, Indiana last night. So I will put those in here next. All right, these are 9 still shots from my buddy Kevin that he took over Fort Wayne, Indiana, also on May 22nd. This looks like a woman in a white dress. It's supposedly a star, and then there's an entity behind that light, breathing in the loosh. And another, angle at it right there. Same picture, at a different time. And the next one is just looks like a loosh smorgasbord there. And some entities behind it, feasting. So, you can see too that there's like some red in it, and different colors as well. Again, more loosh, or and this is what they call stars. I mean, they're light years away. It's such a crock of shit. They have us so fooled. Well, not all of us, but many of us. And this looks like kind of a split in a dimension type of thing. I mean, you can see like a line through there, but I can also see teeth, lips on the bottom right, near this entity or star or loosh, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, these are some really cool pictures. And yeah, you can do this yourself with your phone. Look at that. That's a face. Come on. There's no question. And then there's bigger faces behind them in the background. But those are a little tougher to make out. But, when you've been doing it as long as I have, it's not hard at all. But to somebody seeing this for the first time, you're like, what the hell are you talking about? This could be anything. Yeah. Oh, and here's another thing that I noticed. If I'm looking at a still shot, right, like this lady's face, for instance, I could scroll on, look at other things, and go back, and it's either a different face or her expression has changed. But remember, it was a still shot, so it's like time for them is different, because they can change on a still shot, and that's why like a lot of my recording, when I'm saying, oh, look at that guy, it looks like a cop on a four-wheeler or something. And you're like, what are you talking about? I don't see it. Well, it's because that's what was there at the time that I said it. But when I go back and rewatch the video, I'm like, where'd he go? He's not there. So I'm not going to re-record over it. I'm just, it's just, they're gone, or they've changed. They've changed shapes. Listen, man, I can't explain this shit. Okay, this is what happens. But that's an obvious being. It's a being. No doubt about it. Anyway, thanks for watching, and have a great weekend. And go outside. Take some pictures. Stop watching Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds and Puff Daddy shit. Distractions. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.